Really not sure what to say at the beginning of videos anymore. Today I'm going to be responding to a comment I had on my channel recently. It's a very nice comment from a very nice guy who asked me a question regarding hair loss and how it affected my dating life. I'm going to throw the question up on the screen. As you can see, he said he was 19 and experiencing very early hair loss. And yeah, he just wants, answers from someone who's like a bit further down the path. He's also a very nice dude based on the fact that he told me that he had a lot of value from my videos and he thinks it's disappointing that I don't get very many views. What a lovely man. He was saying that his hair loss is pretty bad at 19, which is, hard to deal with. I started losing my hair at 20. He also said he has concerns he's not going to be able to get with girls he's attracted to. And he just had his first girlfriend and he's like worried about his lack of experience moving forward and, his hair loss getting in the way essentially. Now I did respond in the comment, as you can see, but I'm going to flesh out like roughly how I would respond to someone. Say if I had like a coaching client asking me about their hair loss and like what should they do. I'm going to assume this guy can't really do restoration anymore. And at 19, that's unlikely, but for the sake of this video, I just have to assume that because this is my personal experience with someone who committed to a shaved head and didn't do any restoration. I'd used minoxidil and finasteride until a certain age, and then I pretty much gave up, I guess is the word, accepted my hair at like 25. But if you want to do restoration, if this guy's watching and you're considering looking into chemical restoration or surgical restoration, then Derek, More Plates, More Dates, is going to be the best resource on the internet. His community is very, very hardcore on like maintaining their hairlines. And so that'll be the best place to go for like information on restoration. But I'm going to assume that you're thinking of yourself like me as someone who has committed to the shaved head look. And it's really a case of analyzing what the problem is when you go into the dating market with what I would consider a negative trait. There are plenty of things you can consider a negative trait. Obviously, like being short is a big one that a lot of guys complain about. I consider being ginger to be a negative trait in certain places, especially in the UK. That was considered a negative trait. Being overweight, was other things, being too skinny, those kind of things. Guys think they've got negative traits that to some degree they can't control. Like some stuff is obviously, we'll get into this, but there's a lot of self-development you can do towards like the things you think you can't control. But yeah, what do you do when you have what you consider an obviously negative trait that society is telling you, other men are telling you, women may be telling you is going to make it harder for you to succeed in dating? So what I first said to him was like my experience. So I essentially lost my virginity pretty late, about 22 years old. And by then I'd let a huge ozone hole, as we used to call it in my family, in the back of my head. And like any girl that could like see me sat down would be able to see it. I was actually, because I'm tall, I actually got away with hiding like my hair loss for a while. But yeah, no, after like 22 up until 25, I was just noticeably balding and then at 25, I decided, just to start shaving it. I've been doing like short back and sides forever, trying to hide it as much as possible. So yeah, most of my time dating, actually all of it, my entire experience in dating, my entire like lay count, as I guess you call it, has happened with noticeable balding. So I have a lot of experience dating as a bald man. And the way I see it, and the way I want you guys to see it when it comes to anything in terms of what you think is a negative trait, there are going to be groups of girls in terms of how they react. And what we want to do is I'll explain it like this. So you've got 4 groups of girls. Yeah. You've got the girls where this is an absolute, like red flag's the wrong word. It's like they've got a hard line stance against this. Like they will never date a guy with no hair or a guy who's balding. So those girls are the complete no's. Then you have a group in the middle ground who they care that you're balding, but they could go either way. As in they would be able to overlook it. These girls are different to the complete, hard nose, yeah? Then you move into the group of the girls that don't care. So this is the third group. The girls that don't care particularly what your hair is, these are one section of girls. And then the fourth section of girls, a very interesting section of girls who prefer it to a point of it being a very strong preference. I know this again from being ginger. There is like a group of girls. So ginger people are not considered very like broadly attractive. But the girls who are into ginger guys are really into ginger guys. So when you have to look at like your dating market, you have to acknowledge the fact that there will be a group within that market who you really fit the bill for. because of something about you, because of some physical characteristics. And these groups may be very small, but they may be very big. I usually assume with like something that's considered a negative trait that these groups are a minority. So you can have a minority of girls who are going to be incredibly obsessed with the idea that you have no hair. And then you have the two groups in the middle. So those three groups of girls are going to be the dating pool that are going to be, you know, because it's got the hard nose and then the rest of the girls in that dating pool. And that's what you want to, basically, whenever you're thinking about how am I going to date, how am I going to get success, you've got to be aware of where your market is. You know, it's like boring marketing stuff, but like, yeah, be aware of like where your dating pool actually is. What I told this guy when it comes to negative traits, it is about leveraging other things. It's about leveraging anything you can, whether that's physical or non-physical stuff that you can leverage in dating to have more success. I actually wrote out an exhaustive list. I'll see if I can find it. Sorry for the hard cut that's coming up here. This is not even an exhaustive list, by the way. This is just the stuff that I could thought about. So I've got you're cool and you show that off via high social status and hobbies that are cool or attractive. You're rich, you show off wealth. Somehow like best to actually be rich, not faking it. Your fashion, your grooming is elite. That's what I'm like big on. Like I really think style is a massive advantage for guys who want to go all in and like have great fashion. Girls are really into that. Maxing out your face. So you've got no hair, so you maybe want the rest of your face to be as good as possible. You know, get lean so you see your chin and your jawbones and get lean so you see like your cheekbones, your jawbones, all of that. Whiten your teeth, something I need to do a bit more. Dyeing your eyebrows, apparently that's pretty good. And there's other stuff like obviously grooming goes into that as well, because grooming helps, you know, with the whole visage of your face. Then there's your physique. Obviously, you're a bold dude, you can maybe maxing out your physique may be quite important. You actually look a lot like the bold male celebrities tend to be jacked. Pre-selection, that's interesting. Like you can have like pictures with hot girls like that are your friends on Tinder and stuff like that, and then that helps girls know that you've been like pre-selected by other girls. It's an interesting idea in dating that you can advertise that you have been desired by other women, and that gets you advantage in dating. And then some sort of sexual vibe. So my mentor and my business partner, Andy, he's Mr. BDSM. Like his Tinder profile is like all about how like he's a dom and like his BDSM, and he's got a girlfriend and they have threesomes together. So the vibe of their profile is very sexual, and that's their whole like vibe they're putting out into the dating market. He's also bald, by the way. And the idea is that he is leveraging this extra thing about him as his main advantage in the dating market. This is my overall idea. It's like when you have a negative trait, don't let that one negative trait hold you back. Yeah, no one's fucking perfect out there. Lots of guys out there think these one negative trait, one in particular, is going to be the thing that like holds them back. You'll see absolute like these incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Absolutist guys who are like, no bold guy can ever do well with the women, that kind of stuff. No short guy can ever do well with women. There's a lot of guys who are obsessed with certain ethnic minorities never being able to do well with women. And you can always find online, you'll find examples of guys who buck those trends. I would recommend you go to Andy's channel, Kill Your Inner Loser, and he's got interviews with like former clients, quite a few bold guys, quite a few short guys of different ethnicities, guys who've had success in dating regardless. And like, just don't let like any one negative trait be like your focus and cause your depression. And like, because it's not going to be that trait that holds you back. It's going to be your obsession over that one trait that holds you back, that makes you a negative person, that makes you depressed about it. And I know, because I was depressed about my hair loss for ages. I was convinced that my dating life would be over when I lost my hair. I had all of the mindset that I see from the people who comment about this stuff, who say how hard it is. And like, yeah, I was there. I just got the fuck over it and tried really hard. I really focused on my fashion. That was the area that I became my niche, so to speak, became what I like was putting out into the dating market. That became my vibe. I also was like Mr. Social, like I was really good socially. I didn't even put like game or like social ability on this list. That's another thing you can leverage. That's why the like pickup artists were so successful, because they were like, hey, we've got this other thing that you can do in dating that will make you more successful than the average guy who's not trying anything. He's just like putting himself out there without really putting any effort into it. There's so many things that you can do to outweigh a negative trait. And that's really my overall point here, is that if you have a perceived negative trait, leverage as much in terms of other positive traits as possible. Find out what those are, research what the best things would be for you personally to go after. you're going to find something. You're going to find something that will get the rest of those girls that don't care, because there are plenty of girls out there. I would say the majority of the girls in the dating market fall into camps 2, 3, and 4. I don't think the majority, and this is my experience as someone who's had a lot of success in dating, had like, I lost count of my lay count, and most of that was done with hair loss. So it's like, I don't think it's really that bad. Now, I'm not going to pretend it's awesome. I'm not going to pretend it's great. I'm not going to pretend going bald at 19 is fun. I said I started going bald at 20. And like, yeah, look into self-improvement as your savior. Like, self-improvement is the way forward when you're feeling like, down about these sort of things. You can always, because of self-improvement, you can take action. You can go online, all these communities, there will always be actions you can take. No matter where you go, you'll find people who are willing to suggest actions for you. So one thing you'll always get if you go to a self-improvement forum are guys telling you what to do, what they think you should do. And like, at least do something, pick one of these positive traits that I've listed. Go over any of the positive traits that you think you could potentially become really good in that area. And that could become the thing that has you succeed with girls, have you succeed in dating when you're in your 20s, even if you're short, bald, you're like skinny, whatever your problem is. Focus on the stuff that you can improve and leverage those as hard as you can. And that'll be how you succeed. That's like the pathway that I'm offering based on my experience, based on the guys that I've seen succeed. Focus on the girls that will accept you for that negative trait, and then leverage the positive traits that will win them over. All right, guys. Peace till next time.